Good morning, Eric.
Morning, Graham. How you doing?
Fantastic to be on the call with you. Thank you for
Yep.
joining
I'm
me.
glad that,
Yeah,
of course, I'm glad that we're able to hop on and make it happen. How was your weekend?
very good. Had a good weekend, did you?
Yep, it was good.
Yeah. And did you get a chance to watch my short little video, my introduction?
Yeah, yep,
That's wonderful. Thank you for doing that. It saves a bit of time so we can spend more time finding out about you. So if you want to tell me your story, why real estate and what I can do to help.
sure. Yeah, so I bought the place in 2016 with my wife, but then really started more seriously real estate investing in 2020, mostly just looking for passive income, more time with family, higher and better purposes. A lot of the same reasons a lot of people get into it, right? 2022, I joined Gator, and I at the end of 2022 was the last time that I taught a class at the University of Florida. I was a biomedical engineering
Oh,
teaching professor there, but I was, still dabbling in real estate before that. And I just went full-time real estate, and Gator has been my main source of income. I've got some buy and hold and rentals and some other things, but it's mostly short-term private money lending, and that's what's been paying the bills. And I'm currently growing the business based off of that.
very good. But why real estate? What got you interested in the first place?
Um, it it seemed like the best vehicle to have the personal life that I wanted, to
Okay.
be completely in control of my time. Like I've got a wife and three kids, and one of the kids has cerebral palsy, so there's a lot of
Oh,
needs for doctor's visits and hospitals and like all that kind of stuff, and just a desire for me to be able to go wherever we want. Like my wife is Brazilian, and we live most of our married life in Gainesville, Florida. But he's like, okay, we've been in Gainesville for 7 years. Like, what about spending time in Brazil? So we're actually in Brazil right now. We live in
oh,
Brazil in our
nice.
day-to-day life,
Yeah.
and we go back to the U.S. quite a bit. Like it's usually like 5 or 6 times a year that I go back to the U.S. to look at properties or to do meetups and meet other people. But like right now, I'm in the co-working office where I work in Brazil. So
Mm,
just the level of flexibility that private money lending has given, and the ability to create a business out of it and to get passive income and all those kind of things. I also had some background in it from just what I did before, starting a few years earlier. Like, I mean, there's other ways to make passive income besides real estate, but nothing that I really would have known how to jump in and get reliable money going on. Because once I left my job, I was like, okay, I need to make money now with something,
mm.
and real estate was the way that I knew how to make that happen.
Very good. Very good story. Well, it sounds like you're already experiencing some of that being in Brazil. So it's nice you got that the means to be able to do that and support your children
Hmm.
as well, especially the one with cerebral palsy. That's quite a challenge, I would imagine, you know.
Hmm.
It's a lifestyle that you seek. That's a good story. So what have you what has been your experience in Gator? Have you managed to do many deals or oh,
Yeah, I'm thinking between 35 and 40 right now.
okay. Wow, very good.
So yeah,
So
quite
yeah,
a lot of them
well,
closed, some bigger, some smaller. We're working on a couple of bigger short-term private money lends now, and actually working on some more multifamily, just like pairing with really good operators to give them capital and not make it a crazy high Gator rate, but still have some incentive for us to where like we can get capital partners that'll take, for example, 12% annualized as a monthly payment. And then once they get refied out, we just have some back end equity. So that's yeah, like there's several good short-term private money lends going on, but there's also some great multifamily opportunities that we're looking to be a part of to help them with their capital needs.
kind of singing my tune there because that's what I'm looking for. I recently got focused down or niche down on the large multifamily space. I Last month I found myself in a 3-day workshop on large multifamily, and with my background, it just seemed to make sense, you know, to scale up with the large multifamily, an opportunity to create, you know, substantial wealth which will give me the lifestyle that I'm currently looking for. and to be able to help. I love traveling. I like doing mission, and I want to do a lot more of that. So um,
Mhm.
so that makes sense to me when I looked at it. Instead of messing around with the smaller deals, a couple of thousand here, a couple of thousand there. This is like 6-figure, 7-figure sums, that we're dealing with. So and we do 100 units or more, so anywhere from 10 million purchase price all the way up to 100 million and beyond. So we are looking for large capital raise, and as a gator, Eric, you might be able to put a few people together, come in as a limited
Mhm.
partner, for example, which is a very passive role. Not only do you get paid at closing, but you get quarterly distributions and a share in the equity. So you'll gain those extra income streams and be able to create that stable income, right? Not just
Mhm.
after every deal with Gates, you got to find another one. The large multifamily gives you opportunity to create that residual long-term income and the share in the profits. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So how many of these large multifamily deals have you been able to do?
Well, as I say, I only just focused on it last month, and so I'm currently looking at a number of them. When we find one, we'll send out an email for the offering memorandum. Where you come along and see the presentation of the deal. It's a small window of opportunity when we're doing it. So I've created this YouTube channel with an educational thread on there and how all this works. And I put these on here so we can network together, ask questions, and develop an educational thread. So when these deals come along, which is probably once or twice a year, it's not like every week, then we're ready to deploy the funds and participate in the
Great.
project. Yeah. And about
So
three,
who's the,
go ahead. Sorry.
excuse me, you said we, who's the royal we? Like who's the partners? Do you have somebody else who's gonna be
Yeah.
a GP with you?
Yes, absolutely. We need a sponsor, and I have a business partner that I'm doing this with. We have an acquisitions manager. I'm largely playing that role as well. Capital raisers, and then all the they're all on the GP side. So, and then we have, of course, an asset manager who manages the property manager, and they go into all that on my YouTube channel. So I can give you all that. Let me give you the link. You can and you can do this as well as what you're doing as well. It doesn't stop because it's very passive. There's only a little bit of time, as it were,
Mhm.
involved with this. It's the only niche I've come across in networking that can give you time freedom because only one or two of these deals can make a huge difference for your year. So
Yeah. So for somebody like me, I've got my own money. I've got quite a bit built up that I've spent on other deals, but I'm looking to build a business that's much bigger than me. So it's gonna have to have investors into my fund, and then my fund then invests into your deals. So for those investors, they'll want to see like a certain track record and parameters and deal types and all that kind of stuff. Like for example, on a $10 million deal, are you guys going to get a first position loan? Or are you going to do a creative one where it's sub two or seller finance and then get the LPs to come up with the rest of the money? Or like, is
yeah,
that the
all,
general
all, all of
structure?
the above. With every large multifamily deal, we need a sponsor. Now, a sponsor is somebody who already has a similar asset class, is experienced, in other words, has an equal or greater net worth than the asset, and has 10% liquidity. So, a sponsor in any of these deals has got, is running the show, as it were. So, and you have opportunity to be paid at closing, like an acquisitions manager, for instance, they get 5%. So if you imagine a $20 million deal, that's $1 million at closing. So if I find one
Mhm.
tomorrow, and we close it in 120 days, I get $1 million, right? That's my fee. So
Yep,
this is life-changing money, as it were, that you get. And then
yeah,
you'll be able to roll that in, that $1 million, you wouldn't want it sitting in a bank account. You could roll it in into an LP position, get paid quarterly distributions, and paid a share of the profits at the end of the project, 3 5 years. So you can wear multiple hats in the multifamily, as it were, so you can roll those in.
yeah, for sure. So for somebody like me who has a fund, how would that, would I get a portion of that, like a finder's fee? Like if I bring the money, would there be like a acquisition fee plus a certain amount monthly? Or like if you guys worked on like capital raisers for your fund, how they would be rewarded?
Yeah, absolutely. You would take an LP position if you wanted to participate in the quarterly distributions and a share in the equity. Absolutely. Or if you didn't want to be an LP, then obviously there'll be some arrangement where you'll be paid if you brought the opportunity, obviously. If you
Or the
didn't
capital in
want
this
to.
case is what I'm saying. Like I think
Yeah.
that you guys, I'm not searching for these opportunities, so I'm pretty sure you guys would have the opportunity, and I would just be bringing the capital.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you will be like a connector in that situation. So we structure something accordingly. You'd be a
Yeah,
silent.
potentially.
You could be a silent. You could potentially be a silent LP. So you do get the money, as it were.
Yeah, you can think about it as a connector. Although, like, as I'm setting up the fund, it probably would be more of just like an investor because my fund would be investing into your deal.
Yeah.
So I would have what we're thinking of now is like a 2 to 3% acquisition fee on the money we brought. So
Right.
if we
Right.
bring a
So we
million
could have.
dollars to the table to
Right.
send
I've
it.
got you. Yeah. So as an entity, we could pay you as an entity. If
Yep,
you have a fund, so you bring so much, want to deploy so much funds into our thing, then your entity will be an LP and they get the return on the money. Yeah. I think
yep,
that's how it will be structured. But that's where the attorneys come in, Eric, so they work all that
yep,
out, so it conforms to all the rules and everything, so but essentially, yeah, you don't have to have any role. You can have a passive role and get paid,
yep.
depending on whether you want to get paid up front or throughout the project or at the end or all three, so we can
Yeah,
get
for
it set
sure.
up that way, yes.
So are you guys looking for anything all over the country, or are you targeted to one specific market?
We have certain parameters, and I go over those in a number of, because we're running out of time. I go over those on my educational channels, or specifically we're looking for on the YouTube. But essentially, we're looking for the value add. Much like anything in real estate, we're looking to, maybe a C class building in a B class location. So we bring it up to the B standard. Maybe the occupancy is too low, then we renovate the units, bring the rents up to market. We'll add in extra income streams. These all drop down to the bottom line, adding value to the overall project.
Okay. Yeah, but going to that more pointed question, like I'm sure I can find some of this in the videos, but like any of the 50 states, if it's the right value add, do you do it or do you only want certain states?
The red states are the ideal, so there's certain
Okay.
states that we would have preference. It's easier to do business that way, so typical markets are like where I live, Knoxville, surrounding areas, Atlanta, Phoenix, we do. Um, you
Yep, I like all the above. I like Atlanta, I like Tennessee, I
Oklahoma,
like it.
yeah, yeah,
I
Oklahoma.
like I like Phoenix. I don't like New York. I don't like
No,
California. So
no, no, that's right. That's fairly uniform, isn't it, across the board? It's
yep.
difficult to do business there, for some reason. So, yeah. Good question,
Okay.
Eric. Yeah, really glad to have met you. I know it's very brief, so if you do want more time, don't hesitate to book another call with me, and participate in the YouTube channel. I'd love to see your participation there. And we can grow together and help each other in this business. I've been a lead gamer
Yeah,
for a while as well, so I think it was the second time round I joined, so it's well over 2 years now. So
yeah,
yeah.
very good. So what do you have any deals right now, or an example of a past deal that you were looking for capital for that you can send that says like, hey, this is like an example of a deal. We need $1 million, we need 3 million or whatever. Like, do you have anything like that, or is that like forthcoming?
It will be forthcoming because I've ruled out everything I've looked at. I'm looking every day, and I'm with my partner as well. So we have four eyes looking on the market right now. So they are diamonds in the rough, So you have to dig through a lot of dirt, like a lot of bees. But once
Yeah.
you find them, you only need one or two a year. So you can imagine there's a lot of daily activity to achieve that. So I don't specifically have somewhere I try to raise capital. I'm fairly new in the large multifamily space. I was dealing with small multifamilies, and that's why I wrote this book, Cautionary Tales from Real Estate Investment, because that was the small multifamilies. I had a 5, I had a 12, I had a 24, 30, a 32. They're all small and they were hard to scale and go through all the minefields of doing that, in my book.
Yeah. Where do I get that book on Kindle, Amazon, wherever?
Yeah, yeah, on Kindle, Amazon. I've got the let me give you the so yeah, that if you and we can discuss if you like the read and we'll ask questions, I'm sure you will. It's only a short little book, but it does highlight a number of issues of dealing with small apartments. So
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's interesting. So, last question before I head off. When you have the deal that just makes sense, like, hey, this is a good deal, I want to do it, and you need capital for it, I want you to reach out to me. So, how do I get on your list? Do you email me? Do you call me? Or you just gotta write the name down somewhere so that we can keep the connection up when you have that deal to come out to me
When I have
to
that deal,
see
I
if it's a
will.
fit for me?
Yes, I'll be sending out an email, an invitation to the Zoom call where we do the OM, the offering memorandum, and go over the deal and everything like that. And that'll be the window of opportunity where you can actually sign up and be part of it. Yes. And you would do that
Okay.
as a fund, like you said, as an entity. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So how do I get on your email list?
You already are because you've asked for
Okay.
it. Yeah,
Okay. Sounds good.
yeah. Very good.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Graham. Really appreciate meeting.
That's absolutely. Thank you, Eric, for your time. A real pleasure. And I wish you well with you and your family and everything. Right.
Okay,
Bye for
sounds
now.
good.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Bye
Have a good
bye.